What is up, guys, from the future? Kackis here. Thank you so much for stopping by, and today we are going to be taking a much closer look at two cracked weapons that so many people are ignoring. I'm seeing barely any discussion about these two weapons, even though I feel like they are some of the best weapons from this season, and you are absolutely gonna want to have some good rolls of these things before Season of the Worthy ends. Now, I do want to say, from the future Kackis is referring to, this video was supposed to come out on the day that the Fourth Horseman quest began, because it apparently was time gated and the final step to do it wasn't available, and then Bungie actually went in and hot fixed the game. I did the incredibly apparently stupid idea of actually waiting until I got the weapon before making a guide on it, so I got buried by everyone who just spammed out their videos earlier. But on this channel, that's not how we do things. There's no 3 videos about a gun in a database and then part 1 and part 2 of the guide. It's everything you need to know in one video for how to get a new exotic. But in any event, this video, we're going to be talking about the 2 Seasons Pass weapons. Now, very importantly, these are not your normal, 2 random legendary weapons, right? Every other Seasons Pass, it was just, 2 cool weapons. They're Cabal themed, or they're Vex themed, or whatever. They were just legendaries. These are different. These are Seraph legendaries, and that actually matters because both of these 2 weapons are actually going to synergize and work with the brand new warmind seasonal mods. So you've probably been getting a bunch of mods that say something about warmind cells. Like, what are those about? Essentially, if you have at least one of those mods on and you get a kill with a Seraph weapons, again, the 2 Seasons Pass weapons are going to count. You drop a little red orb, and as you can see, if you shoot that orb, it makes a big explosion. Actually, that's not true. That's an understatement. It makes a catastrophic explosion. Like, the radius for the warmind cell explosion damaging enemies is absurd, and I'm working on a future video talking all about these different mods, but it is a very powerful thing to have access to these mods with these 2 weapons. The shotgun especially matters because it is the only special weapon that counts as a Seraph weapon. Everything else is either a primary or you have the machine gun as a heavy. So again, that really matters. But let's take a look at these 2 guns. Firstly, the initial rolls they come with. So you have the SMG, it's unlocked at level 30 of the Seasons Pass, and its initial role is firstly Ambitious Assassin. Getting more kills before you reload is going to increase the magazine size after you reload. Then we have one of the new perks, Elemental Capacitor, which gives you different bonuses based on your currently equipped subclass. So for Solar, you have increased reload speed. For Arc, you have increased handling, and I think the best one for Void, you have increased stability. And you can actually see a little bit of a wall test right here. I have a Void subclass, I shoot the wall, I get that pattern. Arc subclass, shoot the same wall, and as you can see, it's pretty obviously more recoil. It doesn't completely eliminate it, but it's certainly as if you're getting an extra steady rounds, for example. Additionally, this weapon is a 600 rounds per minute precision frame energy SMG, and usually precision frames are actually going to be kinetic, so that makes this somewhat unique. Now, its initial roll is fine at best. Ambitious Assassin is not terrible. Usually, after getting, 2 kills and then reloading, your magazine size goes from 29 to 35, and that's definitely noticeable. And Elemental Capacitor, increasing the stability, especially on console, is gonna matter as well. However, I rather have multi-kill clip over Ambitious Assassin any day, and they kind of do the same thing, reward you for getting multi-kills before reloading. And Elemental Capacitor is fine, but I think there is just better perks out there, and of course, if you don't want to rock a Void subclass, you're not getting the best, in my opinion, benefit of this perk. So what other roles can this weapon spawn with? And that's actually really important because although way higher up in the Seasons Pass, you'll start to get these 2 weapons, the SMG and the shotgun, from other activities. Strikes, Gambit, Crucible, etc. You don't need to be that high in the Seasons Pass to start farming these weapons. as you can see in the background gameplay, I actually got the SMG out of a legendary Lost Sector Warmind loot chest. So as long as you've unlocked these weapons for the first time, so you've reached level 30, you then have the chance to get these weapons from the chests. I think as long as you have the bunker upgrade that gives you additional seasonal rewards from opening the warmind chest. So that's actually pretty sweet. Now, looking at this weapon's possible perk spawns, we have some slightly better options. Now, we do have in that second column either accurized rounds to increase the range, and that is going to matter especially on PC if you're trying to use this in PvP, and then we do have steady rounds, which I think is going to matter on console a lot more. Then in that first perk category, honestly, probably the best thing here is firmly planted. Like, crouch and get a huge boost to accuracy and stability. Honestly, 4th times the charm isn't bad either. Getting 2 rounds back after 4 precision shots, isn't the hardest thing to do, and it's going to essentially work as an extended magazine. And Ambitious Assassin is not a terrible choice either. In that second perk category, I think Dragonfly is actually a pretty decent option for a PvP role. I think Feeding's Frenzy is a great perk on its own, but it just doesn't really pair super well with anything in the initial slot. I would say maybe Feeding Frenzy Firmly Planted would be a decent role you're looking for. Vorpal is a good perk overall if you're taking this into PvP against supers, but you really don't want to be damaging a boss in PvE with a primary weapon, right? And then we have Elemental Capacitor again. So, for PvE, I think the god roll is steady rounds with 4th times the charm and Dragonfly, honestly. Maybe also Firmly Planted and Feeding Frenzy. Now, for PvP, I think you're going for definitely Firmly Planted and then possibly Vorpal, like maybe Feeding Frenzy, but probably Vorpal. Now, quite frankly, this weapon does not have super insane rolls. It's not incredibly impressive, but it is a pretty powerful weapon for its group of Seraph weapons. And if you're getting the best of a group that does that warmind cell stuff, again, that's very important. Now, let's move on here, however, to the 7th Seraph shotgun. Now, this is unlocked at level 45 in the Season's Pass, and its initial role is, firstly, a brand new perk, Lead from Gold. So as long as you're picking up heavy ammo and it's actually giving you ammo, if your heavy is full, this won't work. You're also going to get ammo for this special weapon. Then we have Shield Disorient. So if you bust an enemy shield, it will essentially blind nearby enemies. Now, this weapon is a lightweight frame shotgun. So it's actually going to do the same damage as a rapid fire frame shotgun, but it's going to give you a movement speed bonus as you're using this weapon. So keep that in mind as well. Now, as for the initial roll, it's fine. I actually do like Lead from Gold. I think it's pretty underrated, and what it lets you do is run all of your armor with mods that get you heavy ammo. Like, let's say you're running a really powerful heavy like the 1000 Voices, right? Or the Anarchy. You can just load your armor with Fusion Rifle Scavengers and Fusion Rifle Finders, or for the Anarchy, Grenade Launcher, and then as you're getting all that heavy ammo, you're also getting it for the 7th Seraph. So it lets you kind of run a build around your heavy and still have a special that's full of ammo and ready to use, in combat. And I think that's super beneficial. Shield Disorient is trash, though. I do not like that perk. I don't think it's worth running. Now, let's talk about the other rolls you can get with this weapon. And these are a lot more impressive. So obviously the barrel matters quite a bit for a shotgun, and we do have rifled barrel present and full choke if you're looking for a PvP role. Then in that second round, accurized rounds and light mag and assault mag are all there, so fantastic choices. Then in that first perk category, we do of course have Lead from Gold, which I do like. Then we have Quickjaw, a PvP all-star, and we also have Slide Shot, another PvP all-star, letting you increase the range and reload the magazine when you slide. In that second category, we do have Vorpal for more boss damage or more super damage. We then have Snapshot Sights, and going with Quickdraw plus Snapshot for just a super snappy, high handling roll is definitely a possibility. And then lastly, we have Trench Barrel, where if you get a melee hit, your gun is going to do 50% more damage for 3 shots. Phenomenal for damage output. So I think the PvE role of the Sentry is definitely going to be, Assault Mag I think is a solid choice, or a magazine extended perk, and then Lead from Gold or Slide Shot is going to be fantastic. Combine that with possibly Vorpal, but most likely Trench Barrel. So like Assault Mag, Lead from Gold, Trench Barrel, phenomenal choice. Now for PvP, and there's definitely some PvP god rolls here, you definitely want something like Rifled Barrel combined with accurized rounds, maybe Assault Mag for that faster follow-up shot because this doesn't have the one-hit kill potential that, a Mindbender's does. Then definitely Quick Draw, that is such a PvP all-star. And lastly, probably Vorpal to just deal with those supers and give you a way higher chance to shotgun melee down a super. And so guys, there you have it. That is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed, found this informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKackis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.